heavy rain sweeping across northern and western areas. Add on to that, gusts along the coast up to 75 miles an hour over the high ground as well. It's not a day for mountain walking.
It's time to put the garden furniture and the barbecue away. Depending on where you live, actually, Storm Agnes is here. The first named storm of the autumn and winter is expected to hit the UK and Ireland today. Our friendly meteorologist, Clare Nasir, can tell us about how bad it's going to be. Morning, Claire.
Morning, Stig.
Rarely speaking, though, this is not a problem for the London and South East. Normally when the media gets excited about a storm, it's because it's about to hit London. I looked at the weather for London and it's beautiful for the next 3 days.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, people are thinking, what is all the fuss about? Anywhere from Lincolnshire, the Midlands, central southern England. This storm really is primarily going to impact Northern Ireland, Scotland, northwest England and Irish Sea coast. It's really going to pack a punch around lunchtime and into the afternoon. But at the moment, yes, we're waking up to some calm conditions, even some sunshine. I've walked my dog already today. It's lovely and balmy outside. However, later, heavy rain sweeping across northern and western areas. Add on to that, gusts along the coast up to 75 miles an hour over the high ground as well. It's not a day for mountain walking. And it's going to turn very gusty in towns and cities, particularly across Scotland, northwest England and Northern Ireland before it clears through the early hours of tomorrow morning. Wind warnings are in force and also some rain warnings. So there could be some localised flooding, particularly in Scotland.
So it's made this sort of very almost catastrophic weather at one part of the country, and in other parts of the country, big swathes of it, it's going to be sunny and calm and actually hot for this time of year.
Well, yes, it's going to feel quite warm and quite bright and breezy. I'd say probably a third of the country sitting under some, better conditions. But, spare a thought if you're travelling this evening across some parts of Northern Ireland. If you're in Belfast, Glasgow, Carlisle, it's pretty horrible. High-sided vehicles. There's going to be trouble on the roads, on the rails, and I would say a lot of ferries will be cancelled as well. Lots of high waves out there, so dangerous conditions across the north and the west. I live in Cheshire. I'm just on the periphery of it, so yeah, we're going to get some heavy rain just for a time and quite a blustery breeze. And if you're across the western and northern side of Wales, yes, you're going to be rammed by some really quite strong winds.
And I've asked you this before, when is autumn coming to the rest of the country? When are we getting away from this sort of pseudo summery weather we've got at the minute?
Well, it's just a bit of a swing and roundabout sort of situation. We're in the peak of the hurricane season at the moment, and that sort of influences our weather a little bit, where we get tropical air entrained within our mid-latitude depressions. And that's what we've seen over the last few weeks with ex-Hurricane Lee and Nigel, just bring in a little bit of moisture, energy in the atmosphere, strong winds. So there's a lot to play for, but certainly the trend is things are going to settle down a little bit. And that's what we want, when those crisp mornings, don't we, where we have to wrap up and it feels really nice and cozy, and then some bright days.
That's exactly what we want, Claire, and I'm relying on you to deliver it to us. That's Clare Nasir there, the meteorologist, talking about the weather, and a very serious story, of course, for 1/3 of the country that she was talking about.